Okay, so we also were assigned to read chapter 22 this week, which was titled Writing a Research Paper. So here we got an overview of the basic steps that you're going to follow when writing your research paper, which is going to be your final assignment due at the end of the semester, your research paper. So when we begin to write a research paper, we also go through these basic steps. First, select a topic that you can readily research, and then you want to limit the scope of your topic. By that we mean you want to make your topic neither too narrow nor too broad. For example, if you wanted to write a paper about drugs, drugs is a very broad topic, so you need to narrow that down. What aspect of drugs do you want to cover? Perhaps you want to write about the legalization of marijuana. That's a topic that is narrow enough that you can research, and it tells me how you plan to narrow it down. And then you want to further narrow it down and make the purpose of your paper very clear. You should be able to answer in this sentence, the purpose of this paper is da. If you cannot answer that, if you cannot fill in that sentence, then the purpose of your paper is not clear. So using the example I gave you, legalization of marijuana, you could say, the purpose of this paper is to prove that the legalization of marijuana is beneficial to the tax revenue system, period. And I'm not advocating that topic one way or the other. I get that topic a lot, and I always get it as very broad, and it's not narrowed down. So always be sure that you can answer that, or fill in the blank of that sentence. The purpose of this paper is blank. Again, if you can't fill it in, you haven't narrowed your paper down in scope, and you haven't clarified the purpose of your paper. And then you go on. Okay, the next step is you're going to begin to gather information about your topic. Now keep in mind we're working on the paper incrementally over the semester, so you don't need to, begin this week to rush out and start collecting information. But that will be the next step. So keep an eye out for articles that might pertain to your topic, or news stories, whatever, however they come up. Kind of keep an eye out for those and begin to gather that information. As we get further into the semester, you will be charged with gathering information from credible sources. We're going to go into the university library, and when I say we're going into the library, I mean that we're going to do an online assignment. The university library gives us great online access, and you will do your research online. Of course, if you choose to go into the library, you are more than welcome to physically go into the library if you're near campus. If you're not, don't worry, you can enter the library, I say enter in quotes, through the online access, so that's not a problem. Keep in mind that our information must come from credible sources. Academic standards are different for credible sources than maybe what you've used in the past. Keep in mind, and I'll repeat this numerous times throughout the semester, Wikipedia is not a credible source for academic purposes. So when you begin to do your citations, don't give me a Wikipedia entry as a citation for your source material, because it will get kicked back to you. And then your next step is to begin to plan your paper. How do you plan to defend or support your thesis statement? When we go into the university library, either online or actually physically, You'll want to begin to keep a workable list of your research sources. A workable list meaning you're keeping a list of all the sources you're going to use. We'll have an assignment later in the semester that will be called an annotated bibliography. And what this is a list of the sources you're going to use, and it'll be a short paragraph about each source, how you will use that source, or how you can potentially use that source in your research. So that you have a list of sources, and you can just go back through your annotated bibliography list and see that you wanted this particular source because it has this specific information in it. It's a very quick way to keep a list of sources, and it's a quick way to look back as to why that particular source was relevant to your research. And remember to always avoid plagiarizing. We will talk about this consistently throughout the semester as well. You have to give credit where credit is due. You must cite every summary, every paraphrase, and then, of course, direct quotations. We're going to practice writing in the accepted format and documenting your sources using the proper methodology. In this course, we're going to focus on APA formatting. And then the model paper in Chapter 22 at the end of the chapter gives you a great example of how a paper formatted in APA, according to APA standards, looks. And I will also give you plenty of resources and handouts throughout the semester so that you can make sure that your paper and your writing and your citations and your reference lists all adhere to APA standards. Sounds like a lot right now, but like I said, we're going to do each segment in pieces, so it'll be broken down very smoothly, and you'll get adequate time to practice each of these sections. Okay, your deliverables, or what is due this week, are going to be, of course, your initial discussion board response. That was due by Tuesday. That was yesterday. Let's see, and then you can now go back into the discussion board at any time during the week before the week ends and respond to at least 2 of your classmates' discussion board posts. Go back through the syllabus to ensure your posts are meeting the requirements. Particularly, I'm looking for posts that go beyond, it's a really great post, Joe. You need to let me know why you think that's a great post. How does what Joe said either apply to a personal experience you've had, or apply to your understanding of the reading, or something beyond great posts, Joe? While it's great to be positive and supportive of your classmates, the purpose is to facilitate discussion and understanding in our discussion boards, and just saying that's a great post, Joe, does not achieve those goals. Then we also have the paper that's due by Sunday evening, which is simply selecting the topic that you want to write about for your final paper. And then, of course, be sure you give me not only the topic you want to write about, but how you plan to narrow the scope of your topic and how you plan to approach the research or the purpose. You should be able to tell me the purpose of your paper will be to blah, blah, blah. Fill in the blank there. If I can't tell what the purpose of your paper is, and if I can't complete that sentence by reading your submission, then you will not have met the requirements of the submission. So make sure I, after reading your paragraph, can tell you what the purpose of your paper is going to be. Okay? You can post your submission for the final topic using the link at the bottom of the assignment instructions, or you can send them to me via the digital Dropbox selection. wrap up this discussion, I just want to give you a couple of final thoughts. Be sure to use the weekly frequently asked question thread for general questions. Most of you have been doing that, which is great. I will have one in there each week, so get in the habit of using that. And I like to have that in there where everybody can read, because many times many of you have the same questions, and then we can just get them answered so everybody's on the same page. And don't hesitate to use the FAQ thread, and don't hesitate to answer your classmates' posts. If you get in there and I haven't responded to it yet, and you know the answer to it, to the question, absolutely answer your classmates' posts. Everybody appreciates a quick response, and sometimes some of you are in there before I get in there, and feel free to answer your classmates. As you are writing your paragraph, either in the discussion boards or on your homework assignments, remember this is a university-level writing course, and I expect you to use your best writing skills as you know them. Of course, we will be improving over the semester, but be sure to write in a complete paragraph, complete sentences. Do not write as if you're texting your buddy. Use capitalization as property. Do not use your lowercase i's when it should be an uppercase I. You're using it as a pronoun. And you will lose points, and increasingly so as the semester goes, if you're using improper language usage. Because again, this is a university-level writing course, and we have to write as if it is a university-level writing course. I tend to be more lenient in the beginning while we're all kind of getting our feet wet and getting used to everything. As the semester progresses, I will have higher expectations of everybody. And I know all of you are here wanting to do your best, so that's not usually a problem. I just like to put these reminders out early. And I guess that's all for today's lecture. Have a great week, and don't hesitate to post any questions that you have. If you have questions relating to you specifically, of course, do not put those in the frequently asked question thread. Send those to me directly. Okay, everybody, have a great week. I will talk to you next week.